In this video, I'm going to talk briefly about how to pick hay, how to gauge your goat's body condition, along with some other tips on just general upkeep for how to feed them to keep your animals at the most healthy. I've had a lot of requests from people to film some tips video on feeding their goats and stuff. I'm going to talk about hay first. So with hay, you want a nice green hay. It can be yellow on the outside, but you really need it to be green on the inside. And this is a picture of the latest grass hay that we got that I really like. We'll see how this goes with weight gain. Something that I've noticed with the bucks is that a really good hay will keep them in condition. You want to feed as much grain. Got hay from a different person last fall, and it was infested with straw itch mites, which I didn't know was a thing, and now you do. We were covered in it, and it looked like we had some sort of plague. We couldn't sleep. We had to put that hay aside until it was below zero or under 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The bugs wouldn't be very active, and so it was safer. The poor bucks that I was feeding it to also started getting bites along their faces, so it's a part of why we started feeding only when it was cold out with that hay. We got hay from other people instead, but I noticed that with that hay, the boys were also losing weight. Something to be careful about is, I noticed I had to feed the boys 4 times what I'm used to, so it's important. I've gotten a really sad amount of people who have lost their bucks from me to things like malnutrition. So I think there's only 2 Nigerian bucks that I have sold who are still alive, who are over a year old. This is a lot to me, so I'm gonna try to start making some videos. I'm not an expert, okay? But I have a lot, and I've kept goats alive. I've had 103 kids born this year, 102 made it. The only girl who didn't make it, well, kidding, the doe kid, she didn't make it because her mom got hit by a car. we have a huge success rate. We had 40 moms kid, and we didn't lose any moms. So I know a little bit. So as far as hay goes, what you're gonna look for is it needs to be green, sweet hay. That's nice. So you want these flat green blades of grass. That seems to be the ticket for weight gain. You want flat. I noticed with the finer stuff, they don't keep the weight on as much. I think we're gonna get hay from the one guy soon that had the amazing hay to compare, but it smelled just like this. This was $7 a bale. I won't pay more than $8 a bale for grass hay. $7 is already a little up there, at least in this area of Missouri. You can shop around and be smart, but you gotta make sure that your hay is good. This is great. This smells great. That's one of the things to look for. Alfalfa. I think I've got some pictures of that. This is our alfalfa. As I get closer, you can see how green it is. It is beautiful. This is what we buy. We drive an hour to get it. We like it quite a bit. It's beautiful hay. It's dry. Make sure your hay is dry. It needs to be dry. If it's moldy, don't feed it. If it's wet, it might become moldy. It can compost and do stuff and burn your whole barn down. So be very, very careful about wet alfalfa and alfalfa in general. You do not want to see mold clouds, dust, have trouble breathing while handling this. It should come apart fairly easily. If you have sections stuck together, you can pull it apart, and sometimes you'll find mold in it. So you have to be very careful about alfalfa. We have it stored in our barn. This will be high with alfalfa eventually, and then our grass hay, which also looks washed out in here. That doesn't look as green as it does in person. This is how we store it. So we have a pallet and a pallet on top of each other. This helps your alfalfa breathe really nicely to avoid moldy hay. Sometimes at the end of the year, or if it's been sitting for a few months, you can get a layer of mold on the bottom. This seems to really help prevent that. This area gets extra damp, so we have a vapor moisture barrier system with a sheet of plastic, and then we have a pallet and a pallet. You can also use some really horrible minerals if you accidentally oopsie and buy minerals you don't like that are cheap, and scatter it out and help dry it out. That way, some people have a more efficient way of stacking their alfalfa, which is more and better than what we do, but this is what we got. Hope any of this helps you out. Green, dry, good hay. Watch how your animals do on it. Keep track of who you're buying your hay from, and make notes on issues you've had with your hay. If you notice that you're feeding a lot more than you used to feed, you know, don't get hay from that person. I kind of like to buy a small amount the first purchase, and then if I like it, go back and buy a lot, because we're gonna end up with like almost 800 grass bales that we're gonna need, and then we're gonna need an insane amount of alfalfa. The alfalfa guy put it aside for us already, and it's like a fourth of or a third of his bar. We are feeding a lot of animals, and they look healthy on it, so that's great, but that's a lot. But you want to look for a lot of leaves, no mold. It's very tricky to find good alfalfa sellers. So you have to be very careful about that. You have to make sure that people have a good return policy on their hay. People who don't back that up are really shady. We had a guy who told us that you could only return the hay uncut to get our money back. You know why? Because he's flipping it, which is probably why we got such bad hay in the first place. Oh, hello. And so you just gotta be careful. The other thing is minerals. You have to have good mineral. I know people get really, there's a lot of debates about mineral, and I just don't know why. Purina goat mineral is great. We recently got a Purina wind and rain goat that I'm not quite sure I like. The nutrition label, sorry, there's water on the phone, but the nutrition label is it's less than the Purina mineral. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm also not noticing any difference as far as clumping and the humidity. The goats eat it, so that's okay. Sweet Licks Meat Maker is great. So minerals, good hay, and grain. I like to look over the labels. I use Home Fresh, Kent, Blue Seal. They're all kind of under one brand now. Field and Farm goat grain. I really like that a lot. You don't want to go too high with protein either. Too high with protein will actually get your goats to lose weight because it puts them in a state, you know, they can't. It's not good that way either. It's all about balance, but you really need good quality hay, good grain, good minerals. Our shelters were kind of, but dry shelters, draft free, it's really important. So those are the basics. Also, what you feed your animal is going to depend on that goat and what they're making, you know, or what they are. A buck and rut is going to need more calories. Certain animals will just genetically they'll just do amazing. You know, certain animals are just going to do great. Other goats are going to be kind of picky, or they're going to be needy. A goat who's making 10 pounds of milk a day is going to need a completely different amount than a goat who's making 4 pounds of milk. So you kind of have to adjust. I have a whole video already on my grain mixture that you can look at. It's just like, please keep your animals alive. Hay is incredibly, incredibly important. I like a brome, timothy, orchard grass type of mix. Clover is also nice. A clover mix is really good. Haven't had an issue with that with the bucks, but a little clover in it, a little alfalfa in that is fine. Your pet girls are good on that too. I usually only give alfalfa to my main milking area groups. I try not to give that to the bucks. It's also just kind of a waste for them. They do pretty good on a good grass hay. But just be careful with your hay. It's the foundation of your nutrition. Do not let people sell you goat hay. That's bad. It's important that when you're feeding your hay, if you notice that there's a whole bunch of waste hay stuck in it, stuff that they don't eat, that's a sign that it's not good hay. You're also wasting a lot of money. It's also, if they're not eating, you have to be careful. You don't want to see a lot of weeds in your hay. That's bad. There's several types that are very toxic. Horse nettle is one. It's this weird, like, jaggedy leaf with thorns under the leaf and the stem, and it has these berries that look like little green or yellow tomatoes, and the flowers will be star shaped. That is highly toxic. It's horse nettle. You don't want that. It's a couple other things, but you just got to be careful about weedy hay. I bought hay with like dead rabbits in it, dead snakes. That's kind of happens, but a lot of that trash is a huge no-go. Ignore him, he got fighty. They're jumping the fence over here. It's built up a lot. As you can see, they've created their own thing here. We're not perfect, but you see how this guy, his black is really shiny. He's great. He's in good shape. Nice in shape animal. I can't see any ribs. I can feel them, but there's a nice padding here. It's nice padding. You know, it's not too sunken in here. He's in good shape too. He's kind of a leaner, derrier type build, but he's in good shape. Crow here is in great shape too. This guy could have a little bit more weight on him. He's young, he's growing. Oh, he feels good. He's young and growing, so you just got to feel him, you know. Put your hands on your animals. Leprechaun over here is showing his age. I'm trying to get weight on him. He's looking a little rough. I noticed they're not letting him eat minerals. He's kind of slowing down. He used to be the boss hog. Something's happened. Now that he's older, he is no longer at the top anymore. I think it's really hurt his feelings. So we're working on getting him better. Even just the way he's eating right now tells me that he's getting bullied. His famacha is really nice and dark, which I wonder if I've got anybody who can help me. Probably you, mister. So this is how you check the famacha. Might not be perfect, but so you pull down on the lower eyelid, and you press a little bit on the top of the eyeball. You pull down, press. As I can see, he's a touch paler than I'd like, but not bad. Not bad at all. Not for me. I don't know if it showed up on camera the way that it looked. I'll see. I'll do Crow for a second. Pull top. He's okay. A little paler than I'd like, but he's okay. I wonder if Mr. Poe will let us do this. Pull up. He is beautiful, but you want to keep an eye on, you kind of pull the lid down and press a little bit. And that gets the kind of, you don't want to press too hard, it's just a little bit. And it helps help that out a little bit. That helps you keep track of any anemia, any worm problems, looking for lice. One of the things is with these bucks, what's coming in on his hair is nicer, darker colored. I'm trying to get the minerals in his system for him. He just doesn't look so great. So we're increasing the amount of grain. He's our oldest buck. The other guys all look good. Indigo here is a dairy line, but he is not thin. I'll show you guys him. There are some really good sources online of how to tell. He's got a really good feeling to him. He's just got a bit of a dairy build, but he's nice. You know, the spine, I can't really feel the spine too much. He's in great shape, really good shape. You see the neck's got a nice amount to it. His chest we can't see right now, but he's great. Ricky over here is in good shape as well. Yeah, he's really nice as well. Yeah, he's nice. He could be a little bit more, but he's in pretty good shape. I'm really happy with that. These guys are in good shape too. Fable a little bit better than Pumpkin. I'm hoping switching to new fresh hay cut this year will help immensely. You're using the hay that it kind of lowers its nutrition over the months. So hopefully you get new. Hi, buddy. And he has an issue with his ears. When he fights, he flips his ears out around at the other goats and smacks them. So he has ruptured blood vessels on his ears, and it has just healed like this. I gave up. That's just how it's going to be. But I expect all these bucks to gain a lot of weight and look less grain once we are like probably in a week from now. I'll probably already notice changes. But that's the foundation for goats. All those boys in there, my older bucks that are more goats in there, I've got a Nubian, a mini Nubian that are bigger. They are getting 2 to 3 of my scoops of grain. I kind of alternate, so 2 in the morning, 3 at night, or 3 in the morning, 2 at night. And I try to hand feed Leprechaun because I just noticed he doesn't eat at the feeder as long. And that's one of those things you kind of tell somebody's getting bullied. And then the other group with the mini Nubian and 2 Nigerians and a yearling Nubian, that group is getting 1 scoop of my grain or 2 cups twice a day. So they get 4 cups a day total. Oh, I don't like that. 3 cups each time, 3 scoops each time means 6. I don't like that. 12 cups a day. I don't like that. Well, no, I alternate. So it would be 4 plus 6 is 10. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's part of why I don't want Nubians anymore. That's a lot of food. I'm not a fan. Nubians eat so much. It's crazy. These boys are eating just about as much as my girls do. So once we get better hay, I think it's going to be immensely better. I'll probably be feeding a third of what I am once this hay starts to get them in better condition. So that's how important it is when you think about all that grain. We're going in black and white. Oh my gosh. Oh, they're doing it. Oh, honey. Your daughter. Hmm.